What's up, everybody? No need for the theme song because we've had some technical difficulties. Welcome to the Legal Score. I am Sonia, and let me just make sure that the sound is working on this other device before I continue to talk. Let's see. It's always something. I hope everybody's doing good. And let's see. Once this pulls up, I'll know. Shout out to everybody. Hope you guys are having a great day. Can you believe we're almost done with August already? Already almost done with the month of August. This is like, wow, like this month literally just flew by. So, anyway, this is my midweek edition of the Legal Score. And y'all, football is back. Electrifying game in Canton. I had an amazing time last week when I was there. Saw the Panthers, played the Cardinals, and was extremely excited about that. And let me just double check something, guys. Just want to make sure everything's good here. Oh. Okay, yep, perfect. All right, so my sound is working now. Something was going on with my MacBook. So anyway, let me restart by welcoming everybody in. Congratulations to my niece, Pearson Haley Jones. Today was her moving day. And kudos to her parents, JT and Anissa and Bella, her first sibling. But anyway, I am live now. So sorry for the earlier technical difficulties. I'm on a different device. So hopefully I'm looking where you all need me to look. But anyway, football is back, guys. I don't care what people say about preseason. Everybody feels like when the season starts, there's been such a drought that they are so excited about just any game, even the Manila teams that are playing, the B and the C squad, and everybody's just trying to make the last of the official squad because the roster is being trimmed down as we speak. And y'all, unfortunately, training camp has taken its toll on a lot of people and a lot of teams. And I'll talk about that here. Of course, the Carolina Panthers kick off at the exhibition game Hall of Fame, 33-30 over the Arizona Cardinals. Carson Beck versus Mr. King, who unfortunately went down. Did not realize at the time he was injured. It's come out since that he has been injured. So the Panthers have gone out and signed Trask. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But y'all come on in, say hello. Let me know that you're still with me. And thank you to the Barbershop podcast. They were on a little bit earlier. They're the ones that told me I had sound issues. Had it not been for them, I would have recorded this entire show without anything. So now we're down to the halfway mark. So I'm going to just get right to it. Got a lot of preseason games that are starting off tomorrow night all the way through the weekend. Super excited. And y'all, we're going to be doing college football here soon. We'll be talking about that. I know I haven't talked about it too much, but want to definitely talk about that probably on my Saturday podcast. I'll probably handle that because right now we're doing so much with the NFL. Now, tomorrow night, let me tell you guys about the slew of games that we have set up for you. We got the Detroit Lions versus the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports. The Green Bay Packers are also playing tomorrow at 7 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Indianapolis Colts versus New England Patriots at 7:30. The Chargers versus the Texans at 8. And then the Cardinals versus the Raiders tomorrow night at 8, as well as Tennessee Titans versus San Francisco 49ers at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be the 1 week anniversary since the Panthers and Cardinals matched up. And congratulations again. So if you go to my personal page or if you go to the Carolina Panthers or All Things Football, whichever one, you will see the videos where I actually got a chance to meet Luke Kuechly. I high-fived Drew Brees. I shook Tony Dungy's hand, waved at Larry Fitzgerald. Congratulations as well to Adam Vinatieri and Roger Craig as well. There were 5 Hall of Famers that were inducted into this class. Adam Vinatieri, Luke Kuechly, Drew Brees, Roger Craig, and Larry Fitzgerald. So congratulations to them. Canton was like, they were lit. Canton was lit. And I actually went to the parade that Saturday morning and had an opportunity to be up close and personal. Normally, you record the parade. I'd been there in 2016. This time, actually went up And let me tell you something. Luke Kuechly, your people was like horrible. For me to be a Panthers fan, you were the only person that did not want, and I don't know if that was Luke or her, but did not want anybody like touching it. There was even a kid that was trying to get an autograph that was walking up the same time I was, and this little girl just on the side just ran up saying he couldn't be touched. And I'm like, okay, Drew Brees, literally, who was the name and the claim for Canton, literally high-fived me off of the top of his float. And you mean to tell me nobody could touch Luke Kuechly? Girl, bye. I hope you are watching this. I don't know who she was. Somebody that probably worked for the team, but thumbs down on that. Like, anytime you act like your players are non-approachable is crazy. And I know that wasn't even Luke doing that. That was her. But anyway, I'll say my piece on that. Moving along, August 14th, the Friday night games. Denver Broncos at the Atlanta Falcons at 7 p.m. The Miami Dolphins are playing the Commanders at 7 as well. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing the Jets. All of those are on NFL Network and Fox Sports, respectively. Saturday also has a slew of games. The Cleveland Browns at the Chicago Bears. I got some news about them in a minute, y'all. 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, the Los Angeles Rams are also playing the Kansas City Chiefs at 4 on the NFL Network. The Eagles are taking on the Baltimore Ravens at 7 Saturday evening, once you're in. And then following out is the dessert of all for the Cowboys fans, at least Dallas Cowboys taking on the Seattle Seahawks at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NFL Network. Now, these games do not go without this shadow, this big looming bad energy that always leans over every game and every experience. It's the injury report, and some have festered over from last season, but the majority are from just the training camps, you guys. Los Angeles Rams star edge rusher Myles Garrett missed practice, and so did wide receiver Puka Nacua. Exited practice early today due to a groin injury. Let me put a pause in there. Puka Nacua is facing a possible suspension from the NFL. They are still investigating a biting incident that he had during the offseason, as well as another incident he was involved in. Of course, Puka went and proactively enrolled in some behavioral management program, what have you. And so now, I guess that's to kind of circumvent what the bigger problem is going to be. Let me make sure I got no comments on you guys. Sorry. The bigger problem as far as the punishment handed out. Okay, all right, great. There's my comments. I'm on a different device now. What's up, Barbershop? Thank you so much for joining me tonight and everything, and making sure you got what I need to get. So thank you. Hello, and hello to Stephanie. Hi, how are you, Stephanie God's child? Hey, from Real Life Topics. What's up, Stephanie? I gotta get you on, girl. Like, seriously. But anyway, all right. So, I just felt like this is one of those situations that I don't know. There's players that people say, hey, they're acting like they're above. Da, 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 da. Well, I don't know. And the league has not finished finalizing what the suspension will be, but they have said that there is a suspension that will be expected by Puka from the league. All right, San Francisco 49ers edge rusher Nick Bosa managing tendonitis in his surgically repaired knee, guys, though he is expected to be a week 1 return. So conditioning, lots of ice, lots of therapy between now and week 1 is going to be what's going to be key for Nick to be ready to go. Chicago Bears, Kobe Bryant, their safety, is facing a 4 to 6 month recovery timeline after undergoing knee surgery. And then the Cleveland Browns placed defensive lineman guard Kendrick Green and cornerback Damari Mathis on their IR list, while waiving their wide receiver Jamari Thrash and Aaron Anderson with injury designations. So a lot of stuff going on with these different teams and different players and what have you. The Detroit Lions and the Las Vegas Raiders also made transactions. The Lions officially placed quarterback Teddy Bridgewater on the reserve/retired list. Immediately following that, Teddy Bridgewater went ahead and put out that this is officially it. He is retiring from the NFL. Now, you guys remember Teddy did step away back in 2023, but then we saw Teddy come back. He says, this time is it, guys. I'm hanging up my cleats. I am done with the NFL. So congratulations to Teddy B. You'll probably be working with those schools down in the Miami area that he was working with in Florida, coaching and whatnot prior to coming back to the league. All right. So the Las Vegas Raiders, following the move that this happened with the Lions, they actually signed veteran quarterback Joshua Dobbs to a 1-year, $1.4 million contract. So kudos to Mr. Dobbs, still getting it done. I mean, I don't know, y'all. I'm not really sold on him. I was sold on him when he was at Arizona. He looked good a couple of games, and then he didn't. So it's not a standing and consistent play. He's not consistent at all. He's a good plan B, so to speak, and then he's back to whatever. He's not a all downs, every down quarterback. There's been some signings and roster moves as well. The 49ers added veteran depth ahead of this preseason by signing cornerback Eli Apple. You guys remember him from the New Orleans Saints and then the New York Giants. This time he's not going to a team that has new in it. He's going to the old faithful, the 49ers. Defensive lineman Xavier Thomas and running back Zamir White all received 1-year deals along with Eli. And the Cleveland Browns have claimed tight end Daquan Wright off of waivers from Philadelphia, and they signed offensive lineman Jack Conley and cornerback Jaden Lucas to some deals as well. And you guys didn't notice. Everybody was bragging and saying, crown me to Haynes King. I was one of them. But in that big play where he made sure the Panthers won with 2 seconds left on the clock, 33-30 over the Cardinals, Haynes got hurt, y'all. He got hurt to the point that the Panthers have gone out now and signed Kyle Trask as another quarterback. So you got Bryce Young at number 1. You got Kenny Pickett, who's supposed to be your number 2. Haynes King was supposed to be your number 3. Now you got Kyle Trask. You got 4 quarterbacks, which means somebody got to go. And prior to him getting hurt, I honestly thought that Haynes played in a way that would solidify him at least in a 1.5, quarterback 1.5. So definitely not a third quarterback, third string. Probably a second, maybe even more. Depends on what Pickett shows up. But anyway, I'm definitely wishing him the best as he progresses. I read it was a hamstring injury, nothing that sounds surgical. So he should be ready to go by week 1. But the Panthers are not risking this. We've seen this before with Jonathan Brooks and the like, and we just cannot afford to have injuries early on. And our schedule sucks because we're playing all those persons who made it to the playoffs, and our bye week is very early in the season, like week 5, I believe. And so we need to be healthy for the duration. Some other retirements, Efe Obeda from the Carolina Panthers. You guys remember him in 2018. He made history as the first player from the NFL's International Player Pathway Program to make an active 53-man roster. He played 7 years in the NFL, moved on from the Carolina Panthers and played with the Bills as well as Commanders. And he finished his career with 15 sacks across 80 games. So congratulations to Efe. Not sure if he'll stay in the States or if he'll go back home, but he announced his retirement. And more notable signings and roster additions. The Detroit Lions also added Amon Ogbongbingwa and defensive back Ryan Cooper Jr. Ogbongbemiga. That's probably how you say it. For I want to say Amon, but it's probably Amen. And the Carolina Panthers, I told you guys they signed Kyle Trask. They've also signed outside linebacker Jeremiah Moon on August 9th, followed by offensive lineman Joshua Gray on just yesterday, the day before yesterday, August 10th. Pittsburgh scored major depth additions from the UFL. A lot of UFL players coming from the UFL to the NFL. Congratulations. Standing wideout receiver Cornell Powell from the DC Defenders and Isaiah Winstead from the Louisville Kings are now in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers from the UFL. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, They signed a defenseman out of the UFL, the defensive back Roman Parodi from the Houston Gamblers. And then the Philadelphia Eagles bolstered their camp by signing David Blake Jr. and Jaquindon Jackson, as well as Teron Jackson, onto their roster. And the Chicago Bears added wide receiver returner Ray McLeod. He's becoming a bit of a journeyman now, guys. Started with the Steelers, then with the 49ers. Now he's in Chicago. And for a small moment, I thought I saw him somewhere else in the NFC North. Can't really put a hand on it. But they also signed defensive back Beanie Bishop Jr. The New York Giants, with their plague of injuries just from training camp, have signed defensive back JT Woods. And the Houston Texans have added wide receiver Jawan Winfrey. Major contract extensions. Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle out of Dallas, has a 3-year extension, guys, $105.9 million. His annual value is $35.3 million per year annual. Zay Flowers, the wide receiver out of Baltimore, 4-year contract extension, $140 million. Average annual value is $35 million even. Jahmyr Gibbs finally got his contract with the Lions. The running back has a 3-year contract extension for $67.5 million. Average annual value 22.5, and total guarantees is $51.5 million. So he banked. And Bijan Robinson, now going to be the highest paid running back out of the Atlanta Falcons. 3-year extension, $66.75 million. Average annual is 22.25 and guaranteed 51.57 million. So congratulations to Bijan. I love Bijan. He's awesome. Chris Olave, the wide receiver out of New Orleans, the Saints, 4-year contract extension, $124 million. Highest paid wide receiver, $90.01 million is guaranteed, guys. 52.65 is fully guaranteed at signing. Chris went to the bank, and I mean, he cashed the check and closed the bank down with all of that money. Darnell Wright, the right tackle out of Chicago, signed a 4-year extension for $116 million. And you know, these, I always say the NFL has the money for real. They have the money for real. All right, let me talk to you guys a little bit about Chicago. I know that people always say the Bears are this, that, and the third, and you know, the Bears are this type of nation and everything, and it's just like, you guys, Chicago actually talked about moving their stadium to the north side of Chicago. At first, that's what they said. They were like, you know, we're going to move our stadium to the north side of Chicago. We're right now on Lakeshore Drive. Anybody that's been to a Bears game, y'all probably heard me say this ad nauseum. It is no fun on game day getting into that stadium. Trying to park. Now, for people that's commuting, it's probably a piece of cake. But if you're driving and parking at Soldier Field, it is a nightmare. And considering there's always bad traffic on Lakeshore Drive anyway, I missed the entire first quarter of a game that I went to. Now, mind you, I was in a wheelchair because I had foot surgery. But still, sitting right in front of the stadium and not being able to turn in for close to an hour is crazy. So Chicago was like, you know what? City officials like, we're going to move our stadium up towards Evanston. Shout out to my grandmother. She's from Evanston, Illinois. The north side of Chicago, out by University of Chicago and Loyola and all these areas outside of basically South Side Chicago, downtown Chicago. And they could not, they were at an impasse on how they were going to get the funding for this. So long story short, they didn't get it. Guess where they're going, guys? They're going to freaking Indiana. Let me just tell you guys something. Geographically, Illinois is bordered by Michigan on one side, bordered by Wisconsin on the west side, bordered by Indiana on the south side, and a little bit of Kentucky, I think, kind of borders it. And then North of Chicago is just Lake Michigan. Like it's nothing out there until you go on over to Canada. They didn't have a choice as to where they were going because Michigan is not going to let you bring another NFC North team into their state. Their rival? Absolutely not. And then Wisconsin is also an NFC North. They were not going to allow the Bears to come over there. But guess who? Even though they have an AFC team in the Indianapolis Colts, Indiana is welcoming Chicago Bears to build right on the line, but it's going to be in Indiana. They're welcoming them to build in their state. And they are actually flouncing around the idea that if they actually bring this over here, this finalized stadium deal is expected tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Like, this is less than 24 hours, guys. And Indiana is heavily incentivizing the deal for the franchise to include the name change with Indiana in the team name when the stadium is completed. I cannot believe, as gangster, as stand 10 toes, as the one of the most loyal fan bases in the NFL, the Chicago Bears, you all are actually going to move this team not only out of your city, but out of your state into another state who now is asking that you include their name in the name. So Chicago Bears, they're laughing and saying it's going to be Indiana Bears. I don't know how they're going to do that, but that is crazy because that team is 100 years old. And truth be told, before the Super Bowl came out, the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers were the ones that were winning all of the rings and stuff before the Super Bowl came about. Because you guys know the Super Bowl is only 60 years old, coming up 61 years old. So yeah, they're going to do that. All right. Former Eagle running back Wendell Smallwood was granted early release from prison to see his daughter. Unfortunately, his daughter is passing away. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison last September for a COVID-19 related fraud scheme. You don't know, these PPP things. Anyway, so very sad. He's getting out for that, but he will be having a reprieve. And I want to talk to you guys about something as well. So Anthony Richardson, y'all, he was one of the top picks, 4th overall pick in the 2023 draft. But we've seen him injured a lot. I'm speaking of this because we're talking about Indiana. He has officially been demoted, y'all, to a 3rd string quarterback position after making countless errors. Now, y'all know the last couple of seasons he was injured. One time he missed the whole season, this, that, and the third. But you at home procreating, still having kids and everything. But you hurt. You too hurt. I'm not gonna go there. I guess that wasn't injury related. He still can have kids. Anyway, they said he made countless errors while appearing to be completely checked out throughout the entire training camp. Y'all get ready for a trade or a release of Anthony Richardson. Now, he did request a trade during the offseason, but he took reps with the 3rd team offense today and was intercepted by Robert Carter Jr. after being way off target on a throw to the corner of the end zone. And with Richardson, he had a couple of glimpses of spark with plays at practice, but he had issues involving timing and anticipation. I mean, the basic QB moves, guys. Securing the snap was also another issue he had, and he just bobbled and dropped several shotgun snaps. This is according to someone that was at the camp. Now, he's 24 years old, y'all, so super young still. He could now open the regular season as QB3 behind Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard. They officially have moved Riley Leonard ahead of him. There's been no movement on a potential trade for Richardson as of now. So go figure with that. All right, guys. So before I get out of here, just making sure I don't have any other news to talk to you guys about today. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me through these technical issues. It's been crazy. I don't know what was going on with that. Let's see. I did want to tell you guys that Haynes King, the Panthers wants to use him as a Taysom Hill type play. You guys do know Taysom hung up his cleats with the Saints. He said he's not going to go back to the Saints at all. Now where he goes, no one knows. But I mean, the Saints look great. They've got everybody they need, and I mean, Drew Brees had everybody hyped up in Canton. So for a moment, at least, they are definitely looking where they're supposed to be. Looking as far as getting solidified and making a big break for the NFC South. Now, the Cowboys actually, when they sign Kenan Williams, this is supposed to be an answer for them to get to the playoffs. He signed through 2030, y'all. So the fact that they are always signing, never has gone to the playoffs in such a very long time, it's just very telling of what's going on. What was shocking for me, though, guys, is that Odell Beckham Jr. is back. And it was shocking for me because I did not expect him to be coming back, if that makes sense. Let me see what I got here, child. Odell Beckham back in the league, and there you have it. So all right. Anyway, I don't have anything else tonight. I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. I was just trying to make sure there was nothing else I needed to share with you guys for tonight. Let me just make sure, because every time I log off, it's always something that is breaking as soon as I get off here. So anyway, well, the Panthers signed Darren Waller to a 1-year deal. Congratulations to him. 33 years old. He hauled in 24 receptions and 283 yards and 6 touchdowns in 9 games for the Dolphins last season. So that's going to be big. He's a one-time Pro Bowl tight end. So congratulations to him as of an hour ago. And let's see, I think I got everything else. Yep, I got everything else out, guys. However, I do want to tell you guys, Rasheed Rice, who underwent arthroscopic cleanup surgery on his right knee, it's been having some lingering inflammation. And so he's just 26 years old, just a few months removed from his latest knee surgery. But there's some worry about his inability to create separation and how unnatural he looks when he's running, cutting the corners and all that stuff. Anyway, hopefully Rasheed bounces back, because these surgeries are rough. And to have to be, rehabbed in such a short time, we look at it like, okay, football has been gone for a while. But in their time schedule, it's really not, because the season ends February for Super Bowl. Then they may have March off. In April, they're already started talking about OTAs and things like that. And then after that, it's full training. So they really don't have a lot of time off to rehab and recuperate and whatnot. Let's see. This is funny. Kyle Pitts. This is a little small fact. Kyle Pitts' touchdown count correlates with the second digit of his age and the last digit of each year he's been in the NFL. So in 2021, he was 21. He had 1 touchdown. All the way up to now, 2025, he had 5 touchdowns. And they're, joking around about what will possibly happen for this season coming up. Let's see. Keyshawn Boutte is possibly looking for a trade, seeking a trade out of New England. He's aware that other teams are actually evaluating his game film right now. And you just got to look at it like this is just one of those times a year that everybody is doing their best to get on there. And they're saying that Giants players and coaches in New York are begging Jackson Dart to slide at the end of his scrambles because they want to make sure that he's making sure that he's not creating something outside of the pocket that possibly messes up him injury wise, what have you. um yeah, a lot of head injuries, and they're really cognizant about that. I wanted to tell you guys Roger Craig's speech at the Hall of Fame. He got inducted as one of the senior um, players because he's been out of the league since the 90s. And he could not do his speech in front of everybody. He had pre recorded it because he has a head injury type dementia. And so, whereas he looked great in the film, he looked great when it was being recorded. He did mention this because I was like wondering why he couldn't stand to the podium. And it was literally because of the injuries he sustained in the NFL. So his message was if you feel something that's off, get it checked out, no matter what it is. And yeah, that's how they ended that. But anyway, all right, guys, that's all I have for now. Make sure you stay tuned for shows on McGrath Podcast Network all throughout. The BW Flick Show was good last night. They're going to have Legal Weapon 3 and 4 next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chime in, watch the movie, add the comments. Appreciate all the guys and ladies out there that always support and comment and say hello and all that good stuff. Everybody enjoy your preseason football kickoff. And also make sure you join me on Friday with the fellas at 9 p.m., as well as Saturday morning, the debate show with Jack Hirsch, James Martin, and Brian Arndt. And then 4 p.m. is the legal score with me again. And then Sunday, since football season is back, they are transforming into our regular 2-hour session, which is the Sunday morning big football show. Doing that one here at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on your way to church. Catch a little bit of the action and little preseason commentary. If they're not on 2 hours this week, they will be shortly. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the likes, loves, and comments. And if you're just coming in, catch this show on the Encore. Good night.